Lyra Vaynack sat alone in the control room of her scout ship, the Stellar Whisper. The soft hum of machines filled the air as her four-fingered hands moved across the control panel. Outside the large window, stars stretched into the darkness of space. Lyra was the youngest commander in the Xerelian Stellar Authority. Her people respected her because she was smart and careful. Tonight was supposed to be a normal patrol. Lyra's ship was checking the edge of Xerelian space, making sure no enemy ships were around. She had done this job many times before. Lyra's skin glowed a soft blue in the dim light. All Xyrelians had skin that changed color with their feelings. Right now, the blue meant she was calm and focused on her work. "Commander, would you like some refreshment?" First Officer Rhea asked as she entered the control room. Rhea was older than Lyra and had served on many ships before this one. "No thank you, Rhea. I want to finish checking this sector before I take a break," Lyra replied, her 6 eyes still focused on the radar screen. Rhea nodded and stood nearby watching the stars. The two aliens had worked together for 3 years. Now, they trusted each other completely. Suddenly, a small beep came from the radar. Lyra's skin flickered to purple, the color of surprise. "What is it?" Rhea asked, moving closer. Lyra didn't answer at first. Her hands moved quickly over the controls, checking and double-checking the radar reading. What she saw couldn't be real. "Rhea, look at this," she finally said, her voice quiet. On the screen was a small dot. This dot showed a ship where no ship should be. But that wasn't what shocked Lyra. It was the energy pattern coming from the ship. According to the computer, this energy pattern matched only one thing: a human ship. "That can't be right," Rhea said, her own skin turning purple with shock. "Humans aren't real." Everyone in the galaxy knew the stories about humans. They were told to children as scary bedtime tales. The stories said humans came from a planet called Earth. They were violent and dangerous. They had destroyed their own world in a terrible war. Some stories said all humans died. Other stories said they escaped into deep space, never to be seen again. But everyone agreed on one thing: humans were just myths, not real beings. "The computer is certain," Lyra said. "This ship matches the energy patterns in our ancient records. It's a human vessel." Lyra zoomed in on the radar image. The ship appeared damaged. It was drifting slowly, not moving with purpose. "Should we report this to headquarters?" Rhea asked. Lyra thought for a moment. If she reported seeing a human ship, people might think she was crazy or lying. This was too important to risk not being believed. "No. First, we need proof. We'll move closer and take detailed scans. Then we'll have evidence to show Admiral Kelsey." Rhea looked worried. "Commander, if that really is a human ship, it could be dangerous. The stories say humans are unpredictable fighters." "The ship appears damaged," Lyra pointed out. "And we won't get too close. We'll stay at a safe distance." Lyra gave orders to change course. The Stellar Whisper turned smoothly and began moving toward the mysterious ship. As they got closer, they could see it more clearly on their screens. The ship was unlike any Lyra had seen before. It was long and sleek, with strange markings on its side. Parts of it were damaged, with metal torn open to show the inside. It was drifting sideways, spinning slowly in the emptiness of space. "No signs of active weapons," reported Lieutenant Amber from the weapons station. Amber was young and eager, always ready for action. "Life signs?" Lyra asked Science Officer Maya. Maya studied her screens carefully. "Hard to tell from this distance. The ship's hull blocks our scans, but there is some power still working inside." Lyra made a decision. "We'll get closer, but slowly. All shields up." The Stellar Whisper crept forward. Everyone on the bridge was tense. If humans were real, and if even half the stories about them were true, this could be very dangerous. As they got closer, they could see the ship better. It was gray and white with some kind of symbol painted on the side, a circle with lines through it. Parts of the ship were burned and broken, as if it had been in a battle. "I'm picking up writing on the hull," Maya said. "The computer is trying to translate." After a moment, words appeared on Maya's screen. "It says Ease Horizon," she read. E's might stand for Earth Alliance ship. That's what the old stories called the human government, the Earth Alliance. Lyra felt a chill run through her body. This was real. Humans were real. "Commander," Amber called out, "I'm detecting a power spike in the ship. Something's happening." Lyra's skin flashed yellow with alarm. "Shields at maximum. Be ready to pull back." But the human ship didn't attack. Instead, a weak signal began, broadcasting from it. "It's some kind of automated message," Maya said. "Playing it now." A voice filled the bridge of the stellar whisper. It was similar to a Zerelian voice, but different in a way Lyra couldn't explain. The message was full of static and broke up in places. "This is Commander, right of the Earth, Alliance ship Horizon. We are critical damage. Life support failing. Survivors in cryosleep. Request immediate assistance. Warning. Praetors. Found us. Beware." The message repeated 3 times, then stopped. Everyone on the bridge looked at Lyra. The Praetors were the leaders of the Galactic Concordat, the alliance that kept peace among all known species. The Zyrelians were proud members of this alliance. Why would humans warn about the Praetors? "What do we do, Commander?" Rhea asked quietly. Lyra knew this discovery could change everything her people believed. If humans were real, what else in their history was wrong? "Open a secure channel to Admiral Kelsey," Lyra ordered. Priority 1, for her eyes only. As they waited for the connection, Lyra stared at the damaged human ship. So many questions filled her mind. Where had the humans been hiding all these years? Why did they fear the Praetors? And most importantly, were the stories about humans true? Were they really as dangerous as the legend said? The face of Admiral Kelsey appeared on the screen, interrupting Lyra's thoughts. "Commander Vanax, what is so urgent?" the Admiral asked. Lyra took a deep breath. "Admiral, we've found something. Impossible, we've found humans." Admiral Kelsey's face on the screen showed no emotion. Her 6 eyes stared at Lyra for a long moment before she spoke. "Commander Vanax, are you certain about this claim?" "Yes, Admiral," Lyra said. "We have scanned the ship. It matches the records of human vessels in our database, and we received a message from it." Admiral Kelsey's skin changed to a deep green, showing her concern. "Send me your scan data immediately." Lyra nodded to Maya, who sent the information to headquarters. They waited in silence as Admiral Kelsey reviewed the data. After several minutes, the Admiral's face returned to the screen. "Commander, I'm sending you new orders. They are classified at the highest level. Only share them with your senior officers." The orders appeared on Lyra's personal screen. As she read them, her skin flashed between purple and yellow, surprise and alarm. "Admiral, these orders, and are you sure?" Lyra asked. "I am," Admiral Kelsey said firmly. "This discovery must be handled with extreme care. The existence of humans could cause panic throughout the Concordat. You will approach the human vessel and determine if any crew are still alive. If they are, you will make first contact following Protocol Omega." Protocol Omega was the highest level of first contact procedure. It was designed for meeting potentially dangerous new species. Lyra had only studied it in training. No one had used it in real life for centuries. "What about the Praetors?" Lyra asked. "The human message warned about them." Admiral Kelsey's skin darkened. "Do not contact the Praetors about this, not yet. First, we need to understand what we're dealing with. Report directly to me and no one else." After the Admiral ended the call, Lyra gathered her senior officers in the ship's meeting room. She explained their new orders. "We're going to board." "That ship?" Lieutenant Amber asked, her skin pulsing with excitement. "Yes," Lyra confirmed, "but with extreme caution. The stories say humans are unpredictable and potentially dangerous." Science Officer Maya spoke up. "The ship's message mentioned survivors in cryosleep. Our records suggest this is a form of suspended animation humans used for long space journeys. So there could be living humans on that ship," Rhea said. "After all these centuries." Lyra nodded. "Our mission is to determine if that's true, and if so, to establish peaceful contact." "And the warning about the Praetors?" Amber asked. We keep that to ourselves for now, Lyra said. The Admiral was clear about that. They spent the next hours preparing. Everyone studied the old records about humans. They learned that humans looked similar to Xyrelians in basic shape: head, body, 2 arms, 2 legs, but with many differences. Humans had only 2 eyes. Their skin didn't change color with their emotions. They were smaller than Xyrelians, but supposedly stronger. And according to the stories, they were clever and resourceful fighters. Lyra selected her boarding team. Herself, Rhea, Maya for her scientific knowledge, and Amber for security. They put on their spacesuits with built-in shields. Each carried a stun weapon, non-lethal but effective. Remember, Lyra told her team as they prepared to board, our goal is peaceful contact. We only use weapons if absolutely necessary. They crossed from the Stellar Whisper to the human ship through a temporary connection tube. The door to the human ship was damaged, but still working. After some effort, they got it open. Inside, the ship was dark. They turned on their suit lights and looked around. The corridor they entered was narrow and practical, with pipes and cables along the walls. Some sections were damaged, with broken panels and exposed wiring. Air quality? Lyra asked. Thin but breathable, Maya reported after checking her instruments. Life support systems are barely functioning. They moved deeper into the ship. Strange symbols covered the walls, human writing that their translators couldn't fully understand. They passed rooms filled with equipment they didn't recognize. This technology is different, Maya said as she examined a control panel. It's not more advanced than ours exactly, just different. They solved the same problems in ways we never thought of. They found the ship's bridge, or what was left of it. A massive hole had been torn in one wall, now sealed by emergency barriers. The control stations were damaged, with only a few still showing power. Weapon damage, Amber said, examining the hole. Something very powerful hit this ship. Maya went to one of the working stations. After studying it for a moment, she managed to access some of the ship's records. This ship, the Horizon, was on a scouting mission, she reported. They were attacked by, it doesn't say who. They activated an emergency jump to escape, but the damage was too severe. The captain ordered everyone into cryo-sleep to survive. Where are these cryopods? Lyra asked. Maya studied the ship's layout on the screen. Lower level. There's a dedicated section for them. They made their way down, moving carefully through the damaged ship. Sometimes they had to climb over broken structures or find alternative routes when corridors were blocked. Finally, they reached a door marked with a symbol they guessed meant medical care or life support. The door opened to reveal a large circular room. In the center was a control station. Around the walls were pods, about 20 of them. Most were dark, but 3 glowed with a soft blue light. Life signs in the active pods, Maya confirmed, checking her scanner. They're alive. Lyra approached one of the glowing pods. Its surface was partly transparent, and through the frost that covered it, she could see a face. A human face. It looked so much like a Xyrelian, yet so different. The skin was pale and didn't glow. There were only 2 eyes, closed in sleep. The human had long, dark hair floating around its head. Female, I think, Maya said, looking at her scanner. Based on our records of human biology, Lyra felt a strange mix of emotions. Fear, yes. The stories of human danger had been told for generations, but also wonder and curiosity. Here was a living myth, a being from legend right in front of her. What do we do now? Rhea asked. Before Lyra could answer, the control station in the center of the room lit up. A voice spoke in a language they didn't understand. Their translators worked quickly to decode it. Life support failing. Emergency revival protocol initiated. The pod in front of Lyra began to make noise. The frost on its surface melted away, revealing the human's face more clearly. It's waking up, Amber said, raising her weapon. Lower your weapon, Lyra ordered. We don't want to appear threatening. The pod's cover slid open with a hiss. The human inside didn't move at first. Then her chest rose and fell more rapidly. Her eyes, a startling green color, fluttered open. The human blinked several times, focusing slowly on Lyra. For a long moment they just stared at each other, alien and human, each a creature of myth to the other. Then the human spoke. Her voice was weak but clear. "You're not the rescue team I was expecting." The translator converted her words after a slight delay. Lyra was amazed that the human showed no fear, only surprise and perhaps a touch of humor. "I am Commander Lyra, Vanax of the Zerelian Stellar Authority," Lyra said formally. "We received your ship's distress signal." The human slowly sat up in her pod. She was wearing a tight-fitting suit with patches and symbols on it. She looked at each of the aliens, taking in their appearance with remarkable calm. "Commander Samantha Wright, Earth Alliance," she said. "How long have I been asleep?" Maya checked the pod's display. "According to this, over 2,000 years. Samantha's calm expression cracked for just a moment. 2,000. That's longer than intended. She glanced at the other active pods. "My crew? 2 others are still in working cryopods," Maya said. "The rest—" "I'm sorry." Samantha closed her eyes briefly. When she opened them again, her face showed determination. "We need to wake them up, then we have a lot to talk about." She looked directly at Lyra. "A lot has been hidden from your people. The truth about humans, about the Praetors, about everything." Lyra's skin rippled with anxiety and excitement. "What do you mean?" Samantha tried to stand, but wobbled on weak legs. Rhea moved to help steady her. "The Praetors didn't tell you about us because they tried to wipe us out," Samantha said. "They rewrote history, made us into myths. But we survived. And now, after all this time, we've found each other." Lyra didn't know what to believe. Could this human be telling the truth? Had the leaders of the Galactic Concordat really tried to destroy an entire species and then erase them from history? "Wake my crew," Samantha said. "Please, then we'll explain everything." Lyra looked at her team. This was far beyond their original mission. The discovery of living humans was shocking enough. But if what Samantha said was true, they were about to uncover a conspiracy that could shake the foundations of galactic society. "Proceed with revival of the other humans," Lyra ordered. As Maya moved to the control station, Lyra added, "And send a secure message to Admiral Kelsey. Tell her everything has changed." The other 2 humans woke slowly from their long sleep. They were both females, like Samantha. One was tall, with short blonde hair, the other shorter, with darker skin. Samantha called them Olivia and Nicole. Lyra watched as the 3 humans hugged each other. They spoke quickly in their language, looking relieved to see each other alive. The translator struggled to keep up with their rapid words. "We should move them to our ship," Rhea suggested quietly to Lyra. "The life support here is failing." Lyra nodded. "Agreed, but we need to be careful. If what Samantha said about the Praetors is true—" She didn't finish the thought. The idea that the Praetors, the respected leaders of the Galactic Concordat, had tried to destroy an entire species was hard to accept. The Praetors had always presented themselves as wise and peaceful. They had brought together different alien races and created a stable government that had lasted for thousands of years. Lyra approached the humans. "Commander Wright, we need to move you and your crew to our ship. This vessel's systems are failing." Samantha nodded. "Call me Sam. This is Olivia Harper, our security chief, and Nicole Bennett, our pilot." Both humans nodded at Lyra. Olivia looked suspicious, her hand never far from her side where Lyra guessed a weapon would normally be. Nicole seemed more curious, her eyes taking in the Zyrelians with interest. "Can you walk?" Lyra asked. "We'll manage," Sam said. "But there's something we need to take with us. The ship's data core. It contains everything. Our history, our evidence against the Praetors, navigation data to find the human colonies." "Colonies?" Lyra's skin flashed purple with surprise. "There are more humans?" Sam smiled slightly. "We're very good at surviving, Commander. The Praetors tried to wipe us out, but some of us escaped. We've been hiding, building our strength, waiting for—" The right moment to return, Maya spoke up. Where is this data core? Engine room, Nicole said. I can show you. Lyra decided to split the group. She and Nicole would get the data core while Rhea and Amber helped Sam and Olivia to the Xyrelian ship. Maya would stay in the cryo room to see if any information could be salvaged from the other pods. As Lyra and Nicole made their way to the engine room, Lyra found herself studying the human. Nicole moved with care, still weak from her long sleep, but there was a strength and grace to her that Lyra hadn't expected. You're staring, Nicole said suddenly. Lyra's skin flushed pink with embarrassment. I'm sorry, it's just... Humans are myths to us, stories to scare children. Nicole laughed, a sound that surprised Lyra with its warmth. And what do these stories say about us? That you're dangerous, unpredictable, that you destroyed your own world and nearly brought chaos to the galaxy before the Praetors stopped you. Nicole's face hardened. The Praetors attacked us without warning. We never threatened them. They feared something in our genetic code, something that made us resistant to their control. They reached the engine room, a large space filled with machinery Lyra didn't recognize. In the center was a massive column of light, the ship's power core now dim and failing. Nicole went to a small panel on the wall and pressed her hand against it. A hidden compartment opened, revealing a metal box about the size of Lyra's forearm. This is it, Nicole said, carefully removing the box. Everything we are, everything we know. May I? Lyra asked, holding out her hands. Nicole hesitated, then handed over the box. It was heavier than it looked. Lyra could feel a slight hum coming from it. This is incredibly advanced technology, Lyra said, examining it. The energy signature is unlike anything I've seen. Human ingenuity, Nicole said with a hint of pride. We had to develop new technologies to hide from the Praetors, ways to store data that they couldn't detect or corrupt. As they made their way back through the ship, a sudden tremor shook the floor beneath them. Nicole stumbled, and Lyra caught her arm to steady her. What was that? Nicole asked. Lyra checked her wrist device. The ship's structural integrity is failing faster than we expected. We need to get out now. They hurried through the corridors, Nicole leading the way with surprising speed for someone who had just woken from a 2,000-year sleep. When they reached the connection tube between the ships, they found the others waiting for them. Maya, where are you? Lyra called into her communicator. Still in the cryo room, Maya replied. I found something important. 1 more minute. We don't have a minute, Lyra said, as another tremor shook the ship. Get back here now, they helped the humans. Crossed to the stellar whisper. Sam seemed to be regaining her strength quickly, but Olivia was struggling, leaning heavily on Amber for support. Just as they reached the safety of the Xyrelian ship, Maya came running through the connection tube. She was carrying several small devices. Personal data storage from the non-functioning pods, she explained, out of breath. I thought the families of the dead would want them. Lyra nodded in approval. It was a thoughtful action, respecting the human dead. Once everyone was safely aboard the Stellar Whisper, Lyra ordered the connection tube detached. They moved away from the human ship just in time. As they watched from the observation window, the horizon shuddered one final time before several sections broke apart, the power core flickering out completely. 2,000 years of drifting, and it waited until we found it to finally give up, Nicole said quietly. In the medical bay of the Stellar Whisper, the humans were given food and drink appropriate for their biology, based on Maya's scans and the old records. They ate hungrily. Your systems are very compatible with ours, Maya noted with interest. You can breathe our air, process our basic food types. That's why the Praetors feared us, Sam explained. Humans are incredibly adaptable. We can survive in environments that would kill other species. We can use technology designed for other species. We fit in too well. But why would that be threatening? Rhea asked. Olivia spoke up for the first time. Her voice was deeper than the other humans. Because it meant we could live anywhere, use anything, We couldn't be controlled by limiting our access to resources or environments, and humans have always had a problem with authority. Lyra received a notification on her wrist device. Admiral Kelsey is ready to speak with us. She wants to see the humans. They moved to the ship's communication room. The large screen showed Admiral Kelsey, her expression serious as she studied the three humans standing with Lyra and her team. So it's true, the Admiral said. Living humans. After all this time. Admiral, Lyra began. Commander Wright has made some concerning claims about the Praetors. Not over this channel, Commander. Admiral Kelsey cut her off sharply. No communication about that subject until you return to base. Bring the humans. Directly to Homeworld. Do not stop anywhere else. Do not contact anyone else. Sam stepped forward. Admiral, I understand your caution, but you should know that the Praetors have monitoring systems throughout the galaxy. If they detect our energy, signatures. We are aware of the risk, human, Admiral Kelsey said. We will provide you with protection, but we need time to verify your claims before taking any action. After the call ended, Lyra ordered the ship to set course for Xyrelian Homeworld. As the engines powered up, she noticed the three humans, talking quietly among themselves, occasionally glancing at the Xyrelians. They don't fully trust us, Rhea observed. Would you, in their position? Lyra asked. If what they say is true, the last time they interacted with aliens, it nearly led to their extinction. And if what they say isn't true? Amber asked. If they're lying about the Praetors? Lyra looked at the data core Nicole had retrieved from the horizon. Then we'll find out from this. Later, in Lyra's private quarters, Sam joined her to discuss the data core. The human had changed into clothes provided by the Xyrelians, simple gray garments that were too large for her smaller frame. Your ship is impressive, Sam said, looking around. Different from ours in design philosophy, but clearly advanced. Thank you, Lyra replied. Now, about this data core. Sam placed her hand on the metal box. It needs a human genetic signature to activate. A security measure. She pressed her palm against a small panel on the box. It hummed louder, then the top slid open. Inside was a crystal that glowed with inner light. This contains our true history, Sam said. And evidence of what the Praetors did to us. Will you look at it with me, Commander? Will you face the truth even if it changes everything you thought you knew? Lyra's skin rippled with mixed colors, blue determination, yellow anxiety, and the deep green of important decisions. I will. Sam removed the crystal and held it up. Your people value truth, don't they? I can see it in the way you've handled this situation, in the way you speak of your duty. Truth is sacred to Xyrelians, Lyra confirmed. We believe that only through honesty can there be true understanding between beings, Sam nodded. Then we have that in common, at least. She handed the crystal to Lyra. Let's see if we have more. Lyra connected the crystal to her ship's computer system. The view screen in her quarters lit up with strange symbols, human writing that slowly transformed into Xyrelian text as the translator worked. This might take some time, Lyra said. Our systems have never interfaced with human technology before. Sam nodded patiently. 2,000 years in cryosleep teaches you not to rush. While they waited, Lyra had questions. The stories say humans destroyed their own world in a war. Is that true? Partly, Sam replied. Earth was damaged in the war with the Praetors, not by fighting among ourselves. We had our conflicts, yes, we're not perfect, but we were united when the Praetors came. Why did they attack you? Sam's green eyes met Lyra's 6. Fear. The Praetors build their power by controlling other species. They find developing worlds, offer them advanced technology, and make them dependent. But humans, we learned too quickly. We adapted their technology, improved it, made it our own. That scared them. The screen flickered, showing images of a blue and green planet, Earth. It looked beautiful, with white clouds swirling over vast oceans. That was our home, Sam said softly. Before the attacks, the images changed to show the same planet scarred by massive weapons fire. Large areas burned and darkened. The official concordate history says Earth destroyed itself, Lyra said, her skin darkening with distress at the images. History written by the winners, Sam replied bitterly. The praetors made sure no one knew what really happened. More images appeared, strange ships with the same symbol Lyra had seen on praetor vessels attacking human cities. The destruction was enormous. Then came scenes of humans fighting back, using smaller ships in clever formations to attack the larger praetor vessels. We fought well, Sam said with quiet pride. Better than they expected, but they had more ships, more weapons. They'd been building their military for thousands of years. The screen showed humans evacuating Earth in thousands of small ships, scattering in all directions. The Exodus, Sam explained. Our last hope. We sent our people in every direction to hide in the far corners of the galaxy. Small groups to avoid detection. We developed technologies to mask our energy signatures, to blend in with other species, to survive anywhere. How many survived? Lyra asked. At first, maybe a few million out of billions, Sam said. Now? I don't know. The plan was to stay hidden, build our strength, establish secret colonies. This ship, the Horizon, was on a mission to check on one such colony when we were detected by a praetor patrol. The computer finished processing the data. A message appeared on the screen. DNA verification required. Sam placed her hand on a sensor pad. The screen changed, now showing organized files and documents. There, Sam said, pointing to one file. The Praetor Directive. It's their original order to destroy humanity. Lyra opened the file. It was a military command, written in formal Praetor language ordering the complete eradication of the human species, because they represented an adaptive threat to Praetor control of the galaxy. This is... Lyra couldn't find words. Her skin cycled through colors as her emotions shifted rapidly. Hard to accept, Sam finished for her. I understand. The Praetors have presented themselves as benevolent leaders for thousands of years. Your people have never known anything different. Lyra read more of the documents. They contained detailed plans for the attack on Earth, strategies for hunting down human survivors, and, most disturbing, instructions for erasing humans from galactic history, turning them into myths and legends. There's more, Sam said, opening another file. Information about how the Praetors have controlled other species, including yours. The new file showed records of Praetor interventions in Xyrelian history, times when Xyrelian leaders who questioned Praetor authority mysteriously disappeared, scientific advances that were subtly redirected away from technologies that might threaten Praetor control. They've been keeping your people dependent, Sam explained, giving you enough technology to be useful, but not enough to be independent. It's what they do to all species in the Concordate. Lyra felt sick. If these records were true, her entire understanding of galactic politics was wrong. The peaceful alliance she had sworn to protect was built on lies and control. How do I know these records are real? She asked, needing to be certain. The crystal contains the original Praetor command codes, Sam said. Your computer can verify they're authentic, and there's physical evidence too. Samples of Praetor technology we captured, recordings of their communications. Lyra ran the verification programs. The computer confirmed that the Praetor commands were genuine, using authentication methods that couldn't be faked. I need to show this to Admiral Kelsey, Lyra said. Can you trust her? Sam asked carefully. Lyra thought about the Admiral's strange behavior, her insistence on secrecy, her orders not to contact the Praetors. Yes, she decided. I believe I can. Just then, Ria's voice came through the communication system. Commander, we've detected an unidentified ship on long-range sensors. It's on an intercept course. Lyra and Sam hurried to the bridge. The main screen showed a distant ship moving quickly toward them. Configuration? Lyra asked. Unknown, Amber replied from the weapons station. But its energy signature is similar to Praetor auxiliary vessels. Sam's face went pale. They found us. The Horizon's distress signal must have been detected. How long until they reach us? Lyra asked. 30 minutes at current speed, Ria answered. Lyra had to make a decision. If Sam was telling the truth, that approaching ship was a threat. But if the human was lying, Lyra might be about to commit an act of aggression against an ally. "Commander Wright," Lyra said formally, "I've seen your evidence. I believe you, but I need to know, what do humans want now?" "Revenge?" Sam shook her head firmly. "No. Justice, yes. Freedom for all species, yes, but not revenge. We've had 2,000 years to move beyond that. We want to rejoin galactic society, but as equals, not as subjects of the Praetors." Lyra studied the human's face. Her species might not have color changing, skin to show their emotions, but Lyra could see sincerity in Sam's eyes. "Amber, battle stations," Lyra ordered. "Maya, send a coded message to Admiral Kelsey. Tell her we're being pursued by a suspected Praetor vessel and are taking evasive action." The crew moved quickly to their positions. Nicole stepped forward. "Commander Vanax, I was the pilot of the Horizon. If you'll allow me, I might be able to help. Human pilots are trained in evasive maneuvers that the Praetors might not expect." Lyra hesitated only briefly. "Take the secondary pilot station. Work with Officer Tala." Nicole sat at the console, quickly familiarizing herself with the controls. She spoke quietly with Tala, the Zarelian pilot, who looked surprised but nodded in agreement. "We can use the gravity well of that nearby star to accelerate," Nicole suggested. "A slingshot maneuver that would be difficult for them to follow." "It's risky," Tala said. "We'd be passing very close to the star's corona." "Human ships are designed to handle extreme conditions," Nicole explained. "I'm guessing yours are too?" Lyra nodded. "Do it." The stellar whisper changed course, heading directly toward the bright star. The pursuing ship adjusted its course to follow. "They're gaining on us," Rhea reported. "Their engines appear to be more powerful than ours." "We don't need to outrun them completely," Nicole said, her hands moving confidently over the controls, just long enough to reach the star's gravity field. The star grew larger on the view screen. Heat shields automatically activated as the ship approached the massive ball of fire. "Pursuer is still following," Amber said. "They're within weapons range." "Evasive pattern Delta," Lyra ordered. "Shields at maximum." The ship twisted and turned, avoiding the first shots from the pursuing vessel. But one blast hit their rear, shields causing the ship to shake. "Shields holding at 80%, Amber reported. "Another direct hit will drop them below safety levels." "Almost there," Nicole said, focused intently on her calculations. "Everyone hold on." The stellar whisper dove toward the star, then curved sharply around it, using the massive gravity to accelerate. The ship groaned under the strain, but the maneuver worked. They shot away from the star at incredible speed. "Pursuer is attempting to follow," Rhea said, watching the sensors. "But they're taking a wider approach, more cautious." "That gives us time," Nicole said with satisfaction. "We'll be out of their sensor range before they complete the maneuver." Lyra looked at the human with new respect. "Impressive piloting." Nicole smiled slightly. "Like I said, humans are adaptable." Olivia had been standing quietly, watching the entire scene. Now she spoke. "They'll report to their superiors. More ships will come." "Then we need to reach Zyrelian space quickly," Lyra said. "Our defense fleet can protect us there while we present this evidence to our leaders." "And if the Praetors have influence among your leaders?" Sam asked the question everyone was thinking. Lyra's skin turned a determined blue. "Then we find those we can trust. Truth is sacred to Zerelians. When they see what the Praetors have done to humans, to us, to everyone, they will stand with us." Sam nodded slowly. "I hope you're right, Commander, because if you're not, we might be starting another war, and this time it won't just be humans fighting for survival." The stellar whisper raced through space, carrying its mixed crew of aliens and humans, beings who had thought each other myths just hours before. The journey to Zyrelian homeworld took 3 days. During this time, the humans and Zerelians learned about each other. The humans shared stories of Earth and their scattered colonies. The Zyrelians taught the humans about life in the Concordat. Lyra spent much time with Sam, studying the data from the crystal. The more they learned, the clearer the picture became. The Praetors had systematically controlled the development of every species in the Concordat. ensuring none would grow powerful enough to challenge them. "It's so subtle," Lyra said, reviewing records of Praetor interventions in Xyrelian affairs. Small changes to research priorities, trade agreements that seem beneficial but actually limit our industrial growth, cultural influences that promote obedience to authority. "That's how they work," Sam explained. "Direct control would cause rebellion. Instead, they guide from the shadows, making each species think they're making their own choices." Maya had been analyzing the human genetic samples. She joined Lyra and Sam in the meeting room, her skin flushed orange with excitement. "I've found it," she announced. "The reason the Praetors feared humans so much." She displayed her findings, on the screen, complex genetic diagrams that Lyra didn't fully understand. "Human DNA has unusual adaptive properties," Maya explained. "When exposed to new environments or challenges, humans don't just learn to deal with them, their bodies actually change slightly over generations. It's a very slow form of directed evolution." "Is that so different from other species?" Lyra asked. "Yes," Maya said firmly. "Most species adapt through natural selection over millions of years. Human adaptation is faster and more purposeful, somehow. And there's more." She highlighted a section of the genetic code. "This sequence allows humans to integrate foreign biological material more successfully than any species I've studied. It's why they can eat our food, breathe our air, even potentially reproduce with near-human species." Sam looked surprised at this last point. "We can?" "Theoretically," Maya clarified, "with medical assistance. The point is, humans are biologically designed to integrate with other species and environments. You're natural diplomats, built to connect different worlds." "And that's exactly what the Praetors don't want," Sam said. "They maintain power by keeping species separate and dependent on them." As they approached Xyrelian space, Admiral Kelsey contacted them again. Her expression was grave. "Commander Vanax, the situation has escalated. A Praetor diplomatic vessel arrived yesterday, demanding information about a rogue Xyrelian ship that allegedly attacked one of their patrols." "They're lying," Lyra said. "We took evasive action when they pursued us, but we didn't attack." "I believe you," Admiral Kelsey said. "But the Praetor ambassador is insistent. They want your ship detained when you arrive." Sam stepped into view of the communication screen. "Admiral, we have evidence of Praetor crimes against both humans and Xyrelians. Verifiable evidence." Admiral Kelsey studied the human for a long moment. "I've arranged for you to land at a private facility rather than the main spaceport. Security forces I personally trust will meet you. Bring your evidence." Her voice dropped lower. "I've had my doubts about the Praetors for many years. Perhaps it's time those doubts were addressed." When they reached Xyrelian homeworld, they followed the Admiral's instructions, landing at a small research facility in a remote area. A group of Xyrelian security officers met them, led by a stern-looking commander named Vex. "Admiral Kelsey is waiting inside," Vex told them. "She's assembled a small group of high-ranking officials she trusts." The humans looked nervous as they left the ship. It was their first time on an alien world, surrounded by Xyrelians who until recently thought humans were just myths. Inside the facility, Admiral Kelsey waited with 5 other Xyrelians, 2 military officers, 2 government officials, and 1 scientist. Their skin colors showed a mix of emotions: curiosity, concern, suspicion. "These are the humans?" one of the officials asked, studying Sam, Olivia, and Nicole with all 6 of her eyes. "Yes, Counselor Mira," Admiral Kelsey confirmed, "and they have brought evidence of great concern to our people." For the next several hours, Sam presented the data from the crystal. The Xyrelians asked many questions, sometimes skeptical, sometimes shocked. The evidence was comprehensive. Records of the attack on Earth, the Praetor directive to eliminate humans, and most importantly, for the Xyrelians, proof of Praetor manipulation of their own society. "This explains many things," Counselor Mira said as she reviewed records of suspicious deaths of Xyrelian scientists who had developed technologies that might have made their people more independent. I always wondered why certain research avenues were discouraged. The scientist, Professor Zor, was particularly interested in the human genetic information. If what this shows is true, humans could be valuable allies in developing new technologies. Your adaptive abilities, combined with our knowledge. We need to focus on the immediate situation, Admiral Kelsey interrupted. The Praetor ambassador is demanding that we turn over Commander Venax's ship and crew for questioning about the alleged attack on their patrol vessel. We need to decide how to respond. We tell them the truth, Lyra said firmly. We show them this evidence. And risk open conflict? One of the military officers asked. The Praetors have the largest fleet in the Concordat. They're not as strong as they appear, Sam said. Much of their power comes from controlling other species. If those species learn the truth, it would cause chaos throughout the Concordat, Counselor Mira warned. Or it could lead to freedom, Olivia countered. For everyone. The debate continued until a security alarm sounded. Commander Vex rushed into the room. A Praetor ship has landed at the main spaceport, he reported. They're demanding immediate access to this facility. They claim to have detected dangerous radiation coming from here. They're after the humans, Lyra realized. And the evidence. Admiral Kelsey made a quick decision. Counselor Mira, take the humans and the data crystal to the secure bunker beneath this facility. The rest of us will meet with the Praetors and delay them. I should stay with you, Sam insisted. Let me speak to them. No, Admiral Kelsey said firmly. You are too valuable. The crystal and your knowledge must be protected. As Counselor Mira led the humans away, Lyra turned to Admiral Kelsey. What's our plan? We tell them part of the truth, the Admiral replied. That we found a damaged ship of unknown origin and are studying it. We make no mention of humans or the evidence against them. When the Praetor delegation arrived, Lyra got her first close look at the species that had controlled the galaxy for thousands of years. They were tall, slender beings with pale gray skin and large black eyes. They moved with a fluid grace that seemed almost unnatural. The leader introduced himself as Ambassador Zal. His voice was smooth and pleasant, but his eyes were cold as he looked around the room. Admiral Kelsey, we are concerned about reports of unusual activity in this sector, he said. One of our patrol ships was attacked by a vessel matching the description of a Xyrelian scout ship. I assure you, Ambassador, no Xyrelian ship would attack a Concordat vessel. Admiral Kelsey replied calmly. Commander Venax did report being pursued by an unidentified ship and taking evasive action. Perhaps there was a misunderstanding. Ambassador Zal's gaze fixed on Lyra. Commander Venax, your ship detected an unusual energy signature in the outer rim, did it not? What did you find there? Lyra kept her skin a neutral blue, hiding her emotions. A damaged ship of unknown origin, Ambassador. We brought it back for study. We would like to see this ship, Zal said. It wasn't a request. Of course, Admiral Kelsey agreed. But it's being held in quarantine at another facility. Standard. Protocol for unknown vessels. The ambassador's eyes narrowed slightly. We detected 3 life forms with unusual signatures aboard your ship, Commander. Where are they now? Before Lyra could answer, alarms blared throughout the facility. A voice announced, Security breach in lower level 3. Unknown intruders. Admiral Kelsey's skin flashed with concern before she controlled it. Excuse me, Ambassador, I must attend to this. But Zal wasn't fooled. The lower levels, where you're hiding them. His hand moved to a device on his belt. You found humans. Living humans. The word hung in the air. Several Xyrelian officers gasped. The Praetors with Zal moved their hands to their weapons. Humans are extinct. One of the Xyrelian officials said, trying to sound convincing. No, Zal said coldly. They are a plague we thought we had eliminated, and now you harbor them, protect them. He activated his device. This facility is now under Praetor control. You will surrender the humans to us immediately. In the tense silence that followed, Lyra made a decision. If the Praetors were already at the lower levels, the humans were in danger. Someone had to warn them. She moved suddenly, darting past the Praetors toward the door. One tried to grab her, but she was faster. As she ran into the corridor, she heard weapons fire behind her. Lyra raced through the facility, heading for the lower levels. She could hear fighting, energy weapons, and shouting. When she reached level 3, she found chaos. Praetor soldiers were exchanging fire with Xyrelian security forces. In the middle of it all, she spotted Sam, Olivia, and Nicole, along with Counselor Mira pinned down behind a barrier.